Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? Now in this video I'm going to talk about the Game of Thrones, guys. I'm going to talk about Edward, or I'm just gonna call him Ned Child because his name is so complicated. Well, maybe it's not that complicated, but I'm just like used to calling him Ned, so I'm gonna call him Ned Starks. Now this specific video is about Ned, and we're gonna get into him and talk about stuff about him. When I tell you guys this is such a complex character, it is just bananas how complex he is, but he's absolutely fascinating and just so much, to me, very interesting. Okay, so we're gonna talk about his father, which is Rhaegar Starks, and his mother, which is Lyanna Starks, and I think that's where his sister gets her name from, Lyanna. So he has like a couple of siblings, right? So his oldest brother is Brandon Starks, and then his younger brother is Benjen, and he joins the Night Watch. This is his younger brother. And his baby sister is Lyanna Starks. She's 3 years younger than him, and he was very, very much so protective of that sister. Now let's get into everything. Now, I want to kind of do like a side by side about the two brothers, being Ned and his older brother, Brandon. Now, Brandon is supposed to be the heir of the throne, He's supposed to just inherit everything. Like, he's the top, right? He's supposed to be. And he's just like the leader. He's loud. He's very handsome, how they describe him. He's very handsome, He's like outspoken, to where Ned is kind of shy, not as outspoken, not as like liked or communicative. Everything that his oldest brother is not what Ned is. Okay, Ned is very much shy. He's very closed, like he's not like out there or nothing like that. He's just very to himself, and he processes things. His brother doesn't seem to process things, just rush through things. He it's very he acts off of anger, very emotional in acting. So like if somebody pisses him off, he's gonna act before he stops and processes it, which is not a great way for a male to be. It's always like taught that a man is supposed to be a certain type of way, and this brother does not display that. He's a very emotional actor. He acts off of his emotion, and he's ran by his emotion. He just does things. He's big, strong, a great sword fighter. He is just opposite of Ned in a lot of ways. Okay, now Lyanna, his baby sister, was supposed to marry Robert Baratheon. The father had basically betrothed them. They were supposed to get married. However, Lyanna did not want to marry Rob. She said that Rob was basically a hoe, and I say a hoe very loosely. Now, he was a slut. Okay, I say slut very loosely. Okay, he got around. Okay, before they were even set to get married, it was alleged that he went out and had a whole baby, y'all. A whole baby. So she's like, yeah, he's already giving me signs that he's a hoe. He's already given me signs that he's going to sleep around, and I don't trust him. Like, I don't trust him to just stick to me, to just, be with me. I feel like he already started and we ain't even married yet. I think that he is going to be around, going around from bed to bed. However, I think that she should have definitely gave him a chance. And she came to Ned with this. She said, hey, Ned, I know that this is your good friend, but honestly, like, I think he's not going to be able to keep to one bed. I think he's going to be all around, and he's not going to be faithful to me, so I can't marry him. And Ned was like, whatever happened before he was betrothed to you don't necessarily matter, because it's not like he was doing this with you in mind. He just did this like he was being a boy, like a man at that time, messing around. Ain't no birth control. He's out here just living his life. He didn't process you. Maybe now that he's married to you, you might just get a whole nother man. He might not just be the same type of way he was prior to even knowing of your existence or even being betrothed to you. He is in love with you, incredibly in love with you. He will change everything for you. Just give him a chance. And Lyanna was just like, she did not see it. Okay, she was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just not seeing it. Now, backtrack a little bit. Now, Ned and Robert Baratheon was kind of raised together because they both went to be raised by Jon Arryn, who was cool with their father, and he just didn't have any children of his own, so he kind of took on Robert Baratheon as well as Ned. And Ned and Robert kind of grew up as brothers. So he had his big brother Brandon, to where he was in a household with when they were kids and such. But then when he went to go live with Jon Arryn, he got close to Robert Baratheon Baratheon, who was like a second big brother to him. He loved him as a brother. They did everything together. They would start fighting everything. They kind of established a relationship. But he's a lot like Robert's older brother, Brandon, to where he was loud. He likes to drink. He likes to party. He likes to womanize from one person to the next person, whatever. But they already had like the ahead of time, close-knit relationship. They had already been friends, and then he was betrothed to his sister, so they already kind of like got that connection to where they're friends. I just kind of want to give y'all the backstory on their friendship. So there's a lot to discuss as far as how things went left. Now, in my opinion, this is when things kind of went left, and I'm gonna start from there because everything was great and absolutely fascinating, okay? But this girl got betrothed to this man that she did not want to be with. And when I say this girl, I'm talking about Lyanna, Ned's sister. So this is what happened. So there was a fight. Oh my God, this is a legendary fight, y'all. This is the fight. So there was a fight. They sword fight or whatever. So where Rhaegar had won. So Rhaegar won the fight. And the plan was he was supposed to crown the person or the lady of love and beauty, like the most person, that like beautiful person, female in the castle. So he's supposed to crown love and beauty. And you would think that at the time Rhaegar had already been married. Okay, he was already married. He and that woman and had 2 kids together. Okay, so people just expected him to crown his wife. Right, his wife with 2 kids. He just bypassed his wife and went ahead to Lyanna and crowned her. And allegedly, Rhaegar was the fox, okay? They said he was so handsome. We gonna get into that in a second. But not only did he do that, allegedly, this man was singing, okay? He was singing at the dang wedding and just... When I say this, I had to clear my throat for that because he was singing and singing so good that Lyanna allegedly started crying. Okay, they say she was crying and she just was taken back. Now allegedly, right? Now, this is just tea on the internet. I can't, go back and confirm or deny. But allegedly, tea on the internet, this is where the connection had made their connections, okay? Allegedly, because there's different things going around now. So, allegedly, he got in connection with Lyanna at this, meeting or this dance. She had a moment to herself. Somehow, some way they had connected, child. And then they had a short little conversation. And that was when Lyanna had told him, yeah, you should definitely, kidnap me because I love you. And, they just was so in love that they connected that way. And she was like, kidnap me and, we could be together. They had this whole Romeo and Juliet mindset. They're young kids, we gonna run off together and all of that. Now, mind you, at this time when all of this stuff is going on, Ned was about 20, maybe a little under 20, because I know when the, all of this craziness was going on and the slaughtering and the, taking the castle, all of that, he was 20. So he had to be probably like under 20 at this point, because this is a little, a little earlier before all of the killing and slaughtering and taking castles and, them doing their rebellion even happened. He did his rebellion at 20, so he had to be under 20. I want to say my big bet is 17, 18, and his sister's 3 years younger than he is. So she was fairly real young. So she thinking like, oh, we're going to run away together. I love you. I love you. I love you. That's just one T, right? One T is that's what took place. They had a whole little conversation, and that's when she basically told him, kidnap me. We're going to run away together, allegedly. Now, another side of it, what I'm hearing now, this is all alleged. I can't confirm nor deny this once again, child. But allegedly that he had some sort of dream, some sort of prophecy, y'all. A prophecy that basically told him it was like a 3-head dragon. So in his mind, he believed that if he wasn't going to be the 3-head dragon, meaning that the king, it's supposed to be some sort of prince or king that's supposed to free them, and supposed to save the world, right? So he had somebody give him that prophecy, so he felt like it was going to be his children. So allegedly he only got with Lyanna after having his 2 kids is because his wife could not have any more kids. For whatever reason, she just was unable to bear any more children. But back then it was very risky to have children, especially you're having children, and the medical care is very not too high. So she just could not have more kids for whatever reason. So allegedly he was messing around, trying to mess around with Lyanna, make her his little side little piece or whatever, his little, midnight hour, just because he wanted to fulfill that prophecy, to be able to have them kids, allegedly. Now, I can't confirm nor deny that, but that's what the internet streets is saying, child, that this Rhaegar just did all the wrong things. Now, when he did this, started giving flowers and crowning her the queen of love and beauty and all of that, saying different things and giving her, they said he gave her blue winter roses, okay, put them at her feet, sung to her at that wedding. Everybody's mouth was open, child. They was taken aback like, wait, what? Mouth open, and this man did not care about Nathan. Okay, he didn't care about nothing. He was still just, smitten with her, allegedly. This is all alleged. And child, allegedly, at this wedding, Brandon got pissed off. Okay, Brandon was upset. Brandon and her betrothed Rob was upset. Both of them was mad and angry, child. They said that they had to hold Brandon back because that's his baby sister. He was so upset because this man he got 2 kids and he whole married. Why would you make it so my sister is not appealing? Because it was everything back then. The women couldn't do nothing but get pregnant and married. So why would you make it so that my sister is not, a good choice, or put any sort of doubt in Rob's mind to where he don't want to pursue my sister? You are dishonoring my sister. So Brandon wanted to fight because of that. And I already told y'all earlier, he is emotional. Okay, so he wasn't processing where they was at. He didn't even process that Rhaegar was a damn prince. His father is the Mad King. He didn't process nothing. He didn't think about any of that. He just was peeved off and they had to hold him back. But nothing happened at that moment. Just at that moment, nothing happened. But allegedly, take wink, they had some sort of conversation. Now, it's another tea that people are saying on the internet streets. Now, I can't confirm nor deny this, but they said there was some sort of magical night fighter. This night fighter would just pop up and, fight these different battles and just disappear. Now, when this would happen, the Mad King, who was like the big king, felt some type of way, felt like, hey, somebody was after his throne, and he was just so insecure and just so going crazy. He was a Mad King. So, allegedly, this actually was Lyanna, allegedly. And women not supposed to be fighting or nothing. And allegedly Rhaegar knew about it. Now, he was sent, Rhaegar, to find the mysterious fighter. And allegedly he found out that it was actually Lyanna, and came back and lied to his father and was like, oh, I don't know who did it. I don't know who this magical fighter is, because he knew his father was mad and his father would kill anybody if it was, especially not no woman. Child, she could dishonor her whole household, allegedly. And he came back and he didn't tell his father. So when they, had that little sword fighting and he saw her and gave the winter roses to her, people said that that's when they connected. When he would because there was some sort of fight that happened. And Lyanna has been known and been said to be very boyish, kind of like Arya. You guys know who Arya is in the shows, and later on you see, but kind of like Arya. But no. People are saying that that's not true. They're saying that they connected at the wedding. I'm just here to give y'all all the tea of the possibilities to where they would have connected. They had connected at one of these events, and she told him, listen, come and get me, okay? Come and kidnap me. That's the only way we could be together. I'm a woman. I ain't got much rights here. They betrothed me to this man, and I keep telling them that I don't want to marry him because he's a hoe, even though you got 2 kids and a wife. He the wrong one. That's what she was saying. He the wrong one. So she somehow convinced him, allegedly, or different. It depends what story you want to listen to. But she convinced him to come get her, and she was kidnapped later on. Now, it was said that Ned Stark at this same party was supposed to dance with some girl. He wanted to dance with some girl and just could not dance with her. He was so shy. So his brother had to kind of play wingman and get him to dance with this girl because that's how shy he was. And it's just absolutely crazy. So while all of this is happening, and his sister Lyanna is dealing with these 2 men, and let's get into the 2 men, y'all, because there's Robert Baratheon and then there's Rhaegar Targaryen. Y'all, let me not mess up his name. It's Targaryen. And the differences. Now, Rob was a ladies' man, okay? All the women knew what it was with Rob, okay? Rob was very much seen at the brothels, okay? He was sleeping with any and everybody, the common girls. He had a baby everywhere. This man had a baby here, had a baby there. This man was just laying it low and spreading it wide, and all the girls knew what was up when they saw him coming, okay? When he was young, he was very much so handsome. They say he was tall, you know, like he had muscles because he just loved to sword fight, child. He was fighting. He enjoyed fighting. In fact, he just wanted to fight and drink and just talk mess all the time. He was loud. He was outgoing. He was all of these. However, it's said that, you know, Rhaegar was actually the opposite. Rhaegar, yes, he could fight, and yes, he can, you know, sword fight and everything, and he was good at that or whatever. But, you know, allegedly he was more so quiet, okay, and he was, indeed, the ladies loved him because he was so handsome. They said he had that white hair, child, that everybody just looked at him and saw like, oh my God, just loved it, just thought he was just the bee's knees, right? But he was not as loud, you know, he was more to himself. He wasn't like the drunk type. He wasn't out here drinking like that. He just carried himself, you know, like a prince would, with a little bit more integrity. And I guess that's what Lyanna saw, and she just wanted, you know, Rhaegar versus Rob. But Rob was a good catch too. A lot of people love Rob, but Rob was just around the town type of guy. I guess he had a lot of bastards, but they don't count the bastards, not at all, not even in the least, unless, okay, unless, heavy on the unless, they don't do nothing or speak about the bastards unless they got married. So if it's a bastard, you talking about your mom and your dad were married and they had you, oh well, you just don't count. So he had a lot of bastard that was unaccounted for, and he was living his life, okay, way before he and Lyanna even was able to really go through, get married, and the whole process, okay. So I guess that's why she chose Rhaegar. But let's talk about Brandon and Catherine, Tally. So here's the crazy part. So Brandon was supposed to actually marry Cat, right? But the crazy part is later on, you know, when Brandon untimely demise, or he passes away, child, you know, the brother Ned Stark takes on and takes duty. So his entire life has been duty. He never had an opportunity to do what he wanted to do. Him even marrying Cat, his wife, was all because of duty. You know, Littlefinger had a little thing for the wife now, you know, was raised with the white family. That's a whole nother topic. We're going to get into Littlefinger later on. But he did that whole marrying Cat out of duty. It wasn't his choice. He just did what, you know, was right after his brother passed on. We're going to get into the tea. It's too much to get into. But we talking. We going to talk. Now, mind you, I already told you guys about how Rhaegar and god dang Lyanna both ran away, but to everybody else she had gotten kidnapped, okay? So to everybody else she had gotten kidnapped by Rhaegar, and Rhaegar is the prince, okay? He's supposed to be the king soon and everything, you know, with his family. We're gonna get into that later, but yeah, he's the prince. So he was like kidnapped her, and at the time, Brandon had found out. Now Brandon, at this point, Brandon is over Rhaegar ass, okay? He ready for war. He ready, okay? Because remember, I already told y'all about the sword fighting thing, to where she was crowned the you know, the lady of love and beauty and all of that, saying she was the most, you know, beautiful person. However, so Brandon's already over this dang prince, saying, hold up, first you crown her, now you kidnapping her. You really want to dishonor my sister. And mind you, I already told y'all Rob was mad then, but and something else I want to address. Rob was mad when all of this happened. Robert Baratheon, he was mad when all of this happened, but he tried to front in public like, oh, you know, they just gave her dues. It's not a big deal, woo, 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 in public. But deep down in his heart, he already knew the kind of, y'all, the way this man loved Lyanna, something vicious, especially somebody who had not even made no connection. They weren't even married yet, no nothing really. You don't know this girl. Just off of her face, you just so smitten that you willing to kill the whole world for her. This man had a hate in his heart so strong about anybody that would come and step in a way of him being with Lyanna Starks, okay? So when that man did that, he was trying, and then he's very prideful, so he was trying to play it off like, yeah, I knew she was, you know, beautiful, and, you know, she deserved the love and beauty. He gave her due, but deep down in his heart, he was about ready to fight, okay? So now Brandon is upset that his sister is getting kidnapped. He is mad, okay? So he rushes to the castle, you know, to King's Landing to confront Rhaegar about it, demanding, you know, Rhaegar, you better show your face, He about ready to fight. However, when he get there, Rhaegar ain't there. Why? Because Rhaegar is with the dang sister, okay? They over here making love, and from the movies, they done got married and everything. They having a time, okay? This girl not even thinking about her family, and like, she's not processing, okay? not thinking about what this could do to her family, what could happen on the other side. She's just living her life, okay? She about ready to marry this. She is in love, child. She not processing the, the implications of what this, hopefully that's the word, but she's not processing what this means. No, no, no. She just enjoying having her a good old funky time over here with her man. She just know that this her man and they in love and all of that. He even had the audacity to take this girl to the Tower of Joy, okay? And now I don't know whoever thought that this girl was kidnapped. If you was gonna kidnap somebody, you not finna take them to the Tower of Joy. Or I guess it fuels the whole him R-ing her, fact. Hey, he R'd her, so he took her to the Tower of Joy. I could see how they would believe that. But in my opinion, y'all, like, no. It's just messy that they would even think that with him taking her to the Tower of Joy, because I would have saw right through it, in my opinion. But this man was about ready to fight. So, but when he got there to fight Rhaegar wasn't there. The king was there. Now, the king done, like, put them in jail, said that they was over here committing treason, all of that, because you can't fight the prince. I'm the king, and the Mad King at that. Now, the Mad King was upset, like, just pissed off, and it's not a good thing to piss off the Mad King, okay? The Mad King is willing to, like, just, I don't know, kill the world. He's willing to just end it all, okay? Over his family. He already crazy. He already felt like somebody after him. He already, I don't know, I would say this Mad King is giving me schizophrenic vibes, okay? It's definitely giving schizophrenic. But that's a whole nother topic, okay? The schizophrenic Mad King, okay? It's just out here just losing it. So he puts them in jail and tells them to call for your father, Rhaegar, Starks, and say, hey, call for your daddy, and he needs to come out here and, rectify for y'all sins, because y'all was over here acting a mess. Your daddy need to come and, talk to me, do something, like, be able to, like, come to court for y'all's actions. So the father sat up in here and said, hey, I want a trial by battle. You know how they fight and stuff, by sword fighting or whatever. There's a name for it, but I'm just spilling the tea for y'all. So he was about ready to fight. He said, I want a trial by fighting, and the king was like, yep, sure. But this Mad King done said his opponent is fire. Yes, y'all, his opponent is fire. So why he's sitting over here like pot boiling, because this man got all his armor on, about ready to fight, pot boiled this man, because he in fire at this point. His son had to watch, okay? The Mad King set it up so his son can watch. His son had like a rope around his neck and a sword real close by, to where he could easily like cut his father out, or like take his father out the position so he wouldn't burn to death. But every time he like would run across the sword to try to rescue his father, this young boy was damn near like suffocated. He could not breathe. So it choked. He got suffocated to death, okay? It choked him to death, like cut his airways smoothed off, and he like had to pass away. He died, okay? And that was how Ned's brother died, his brother who's supposed to take on the kingdom. Now Ned was the next place. Now Ned, now it's your throne, okay? It was your brother, and that's why Ned had went on ahead and married Catherine. But we gonna get into that. So when the Mad King did all of that, the Mad King was pissed off. The Mad King was like, you know what? At this point, I want Ned's head, and I want Rob's head, and not only Ned and Rob, because I guess they already seen them together. They already, this is your brother for real. So Rob ain't had nothing to do with nothing, but Rob got sucked into it. Okay, I want Rob's head too. And then that was the time where John Aaron was like, you not about to play with me. I can't have no kids, or have not had any kids. These boys are like my sons, okay? So he repaired, child, excuse my language. He went against the prince. And he was about ready to fight the prince. He's like, So this led to a whole bunch of people dying, okay? It was at this point, everybody's against the prince, because John Aaron was about ready to go, especially for his boys. He went to war, okay? So they just went killing people, going to slap the F off, okay? Because the king wanted them dead, and they ain't have nothing to do with nothing. It's not like Ned stormed the castle, but I guess the king already had it in his mind that people was after him, so he thought, I'm just kill everybody. And that's how he was going to go about it. Now, the rebellion kind of went on for a while. So at that point, Ned and Kathleen Talley had got married, and I think also it was because of the allegiance, with the battle. It caused a great allegiance during the battle, to where they can be connected and have the support of the Tallies. So it was very good, and entirely their position, or how just them having such a powerful family. It definitely was a good thing that the marriage between Kathleen and Ned happened, because they needed that support, and it definitely formed a great support. Now, mind you, when they were ordered to be killed by the Mad King, they weren't there with, like, in the place where the Mad King was. They were far off. And John, Aaron kind of, sent the message across, and kind of went against the Mad King, in order to protect them, right, at this time. So a lot of things had happened. The rebellion was going on, to where they were going to different places, rebelling the entire situation, like sword fighting, this place, that place, winning battles, all of that, right? So they killed a lot of people in order for them to get back to King's Landing. Now, when they got back to King's Landing, oh my God, the mess that awaited them. Okay, so when they got there, they found Tywin Lannister had killed a lot of people in the city, and God knows how many people were murdered. So it was a lot going on. And the son of Tywin Lannister, Jaime, who is was a sworn protector to the king, has actually turned against the king and murdered the Mad King. And this is just crazy. So I guess the rebellion, like all of that going on, this is not even the tea of it. The part that's like, oh my God. So Prince Rhaegar's wife had two little children, right? And it was a girl and a boy. However, they were murdered, and his wife was arred by another brutal killer, Sir Gregor Golgain. I don't even know how to say that man, his full name, but Sir Gregor basically violated this woman, and also he killed the children. So this had been a thing that's kind of stuck in the minds of Ned, and that this is what pushes Ned to want to protect children. You see, like, later on, he goes above and beyond to protect children. When he takes the Greyjoy's castle, he really goes above and beyond to take care of the son, in that castle. We're going to get into that, but because of that, because Ned witnessed that and seeing the remainings of those children, that the whole entire situation, he'd always had a soft part in his a soft spot in his heart for the children, because he felt like they didn't deserve that. He felt like it wasn't right. Him being a man of honor, he just did not understand why it had to go that far, and why, like, any of that was going on. However, Rob did not feel the same way. Now, Rob basically pardoned Jaime Lannister of death of the Targaryen mother and the children. He pardoned him, and he felt like, okay, it was justified, because at the time he was just set with rage that that this entire situation, to where Rhaegar kidnapped his betrothed wife. I told you, he was obsessed with this woman without even being fully married or getting any type of benefits. He just was obsessed with her, and that was his betrothed wife. So he was with the ish. Okay, he's like, kill everything. He was okay with the way the whole situation happened, to where Ned at the time, who was like 20 years old at the time, and he had just lost his father and his brother, it just couldn't understand that, like he didn't understand why that they need to die and all of that. Now, shortly after Robert did all of that, and as far as pardoning Jaime, Cersei Lannister, they got married, okay? And he allowed Jaime to be his personal king's guard. So it just kind of went crazy after that. And this entire situation, Ned did not understand. Both of them got into a big disagreement, to where Ned walked away, and they weren't speaking for a long period of time, because Ned did not understand why it had to go that far, and like, why did he have to do the things that he did. But I guess he understood it. I don't know. And it's even argue that Jaime didn't do anything like big. Jaime, the only reason he did what he did was because he wanted to be the one that did it, and because he saw that it was going against the Mad King, as far as the people in the war. Like, the rebellion was absolutely crazy, and a lot of people was dying, and a lot of people were losing their lives and all of that with the rebellion existing. However, because the other side was winning, Jamie, that's why he turned over. He didn't do it in order to have Robert Baratheon's back, blah, blah, blah. No, he did it because he needed some alliance. He didn't want his, family to get burned in the crosshairs. His father was very, very smart in how he is like strategic and how he handled everything, and I'm sure he advised Jamie to go about it that way so he can have some alliances, and now he's a powerful man in power and be able to like gain some sort of access, as far as him being the king and him, setting things and all of that, and just being the leader. So he did all of that for his own gain, not because he wanted to help Robert avenge what I'm saying, Ned's sister's passing. And then after fighting all of these battles, he finally gets to the Tower of Joy to get to his sister. They had 2 guards from Rhaegar guarding her, and to where he had to fight them and everything, and beat them up in order to free his sister from the castle. When he gets there, allegedly, now this is according to the movie, right? The not the movie, the series or whatever, the King of Games of Thrones series, right? According to the series, this is what happened. When he got there, his sister was on her dying bed, and she had blood everywhere from childbirth, and he was asking like, hey, where's these different people? Like, at the time they didn't have doctors. They had, I forgot what they were called, but somebody like that to help and everything. His sister was like, no, she was content with dying. She knew that there was no hope or whatever, but she basically made him promise to take a little boy home, and that act as though this is your son. So allegedly, this is actually her son that she had with the Targaryen, with Rhaegar Targaryen, and she begged her brother to keep him safe because she feels like if Rob knew that that was their kid, he would try to kill them. So he did what he did in order to protect his nephew. So he brought the baby home, lied or allegedly told stories to his wife that this was his kid, and like it was a bastard situation to where he, you don't have to know the mom, but this is my kid. He was over here telling lies like nobody's business, and just saying, hey, he claimed the child as being his, even though his wife looked at him sideways. Everybody was upset with him by going that way. They were surprised more so because they never thought he always presented himself as a very honorable man. So to see him go that route, it definitely surprised a lot of people. And he allowed anybody and everybody to feel however they wanted to feel in order to protect his little nephew, because definitely Rob did not have no issues killing kids, okay? And despite that, he hated that, and I think that stuck in his mind and it haunted him. So he had to do what he had to do, and I think it really angered him the way in which his sister went about everything, because it's like, yo, why would you do that? Because of you. And like many wars always start because of some woman or something a female did. You know what I'm saying? Men are ready to go to arms, go to war, kill things, and just do whatever based off of actions women have made. So I think it was uncomfortable. I think that's why he never spoke on his sister for years, because even the kids would say, hey, he never really liked talking about her. One, because she passed on and that was his sister, but also because of how she handled everything. Like, it was because of her that a lot of people died. So I wouldn't be surprised if he has some sort of animosity against her. However, his youngest daughter Arya is a lot like her, and I think that's his favorite child. He explains more to her, has more of a connection with her, pays somebody to teach her sword fighting. So it tells me that he has some sort of deep rooted love, for his daughter, and then when all of the stuff happened, he just kind of like hit off, from Rob, and did his own thing and gave his kids a quiet life, allow them, like he got his wife pregnant, had multiple kids, was able to have a quiet life, live their life away from all the chaos that happens in King's Landing and all of that. So I think that he's always been an honorable father, even towards like the end, to where when he found out that Cersei's children was not necessarily Rob, and he gave her a conversation and said, hey, do what you have to do, because I think he was afraid that if he told Rob, that Rob would have had them kids axed out, like pow, like out of this world, literally, like he would have done with John. So he tried to give her a way out, and it shows that honestly he is a man of honor, and yes, he was trying to do the right thing, and he doesn't want to see no child hurt, harmed, or in danger, and it shows that. And even towards the end, to where they wanted him to admit to treason, and he knew that, hey, I didn't do no treason, no nothing. When Joffrey became king, they wanted him to admit he didn't do it, and the only reason he agreed to do it was to save his daughter, but to which Joffrey did it it anyways. And this man lost his life. That was the most heartbreaking moment of Game of Thrones. I promise you guys, okay? If you guys like the books, just wait till you see the actual series and you see that part when Ned goes bye-bye. It breaks your heart so much, and it makes you hate Joffrey in a very special kind of way. You know, you never really dislike nobody unless you until you see how much people dislike Joffrey because of that very moment. Because why would you do that? Like, what? Especially when he did what you told him to do against what he wanted. And I also want to talk about Tyland Greyjoy, and how basically Tyland Greyjoy, he took Theon Greyjoy in order to stop the uprising of Tyland Greyjoy. And he didn't want to, harm the young boy at the time. So he basically took him in and kind of raised him and tried to do the best by him in raising him. And it just was absolutely just crazy, okay? And I don't know. He actually found out because Cersei told him that, Jaime had pushed his son, Brian, out of the window because he had walked in on them doing it. So he, for him, even knowing that, to not tell about all the mess that, Cersei was doing as far as the kids not being robbed, he still kept that secret. It definitely shows that he just loves, children, and he doesn't want to see any child harm, and he would go above and beyond to protect the child. He was raising Theon Greyjoy, even though he could have just killed this person because you basically was trying to stop the uprising of his father, but your heart couldn't bring you to, kill this little boy. So you kept him and you did the best by him and try to raise him. However, it was always the distance, and Theon Greyjoy always felt like he did not belong, always felt like he just was judged by the world. He was very big-headed. What's crazy is he was captured, but he didn't present himself or move as though he was captured. He actually had a lot of freedom, was raised with them, lived with them, had a certain type of umph to him that I don't feel like he would have got any sort of anywhere else. Okay, he got that being in the entire situation with the Starks, living with the Starks, almost like a brother, almost like family, and he was very much so close, like close to Jon Snow, because of this. Both of them was outsider. Jon Snow felt like he didn't have a mom. Theon Greyjoy didn't feel like he belonged in that entire settings. However, they were there. So I think that they had a very close connection because they could understand each other and resonate with each other's pain and all that each other, was going through at the time, That's just my opinion, but let me know what you all think. But I want to talk about just him as a whole person. Ned Stark was an honorable man. He died an honorable man. I don't care if they try to say, oh, it's treason because he admitted to it. However, it was all lies to protect his child. He did what he could for his child. He did what he could for everybody. His entire life was full with duty. He always did what he had to do versus what he wanted to do. He went on to become the king's hand, even though it wasn't something that he wanted to do. He wanted to just shy away and hide away and raise his kids and be with his wife. He didn't want to come to King's Landing. He didn't want to be the advisor. He didn't want to, but he did it because his best friend had asked him, and he felt like that was just the right thing to do. But I don't think he never really wanted to do that, and he never ever tried to overpower his hand or overplay his role or because he had power, I'm gonna do this, I'm big bad. He never presented himself in that manner. He just was always nice, always humble, in which the way he handled everything. So I appreciate that, and I just think that he was a layered character. He was always doing what he had to do for everybody that he loved. It's unfair that his sister put him in that type of position. It's unfair that she didn't think about everything. It's because of her so many people died, but he was at the end, he was always suppressing his anger, always holding back pain, because he wanted to make the best decisions, and he watched a lot of Bales around him do quick things and make bad decisions, moving fast mentally and not processing everything. But if we really gonna talk about it, I think this was a amazing cast from the actual series, the show, and it was actually his story is absolutely amazing and it's breathtaking in my opinion. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all here for him? Y'all here for his story? Tell me. I'm thirsty to know. I want to know everything. Y'all please spill the tea. Let me know, okay? But bye, guys.